don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you.
Hey, I want some of that vitamin, John. Okay. You eat. Nom 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 nom. Poof. Hey, have you stopped selling that vitamin, John, yet? Ah! Ah! What the hell did you do? No! Another satisfied customer. What do you mean satisfied? Ah, spinster! Everyone, this is Tom, and we are now at video 7 of 7, and I thought it was appropriate simply to start with a picture of the box. And looking at this box, I noticed something, and I thought I would bring it in here myself so everyone else can see that. Third-party company, I wonder if they got sued for that. Yeah, I wonder. Okay. So we'll go from here, and my intention is to show the combine, how to get each bot into combine mode, and then we shall simply put them together. I'll go through range of motion, and I think that will end where we're at there. Okay. So now we're going to put this guy into combine mode, and it's not horribly difficult. So let me see here, how do we do this? First we pick him up, and we come down here to the bottom, we move these flaps here on the sides up, we disconnect from the back here, and we bring out our combiner peg, and we just lift it all the way to the top. And we try to keep these things together, and we pull them up. We bring in our combiner arm, and if you notice, there's a big old slot here, which will fit this. We just slip this into place, which there should be a proper orientation for it, and I think it's this way. It is this way. Okay. All this stuff will come back down together, and there are two pegs, I don't know if you can see them, which will go into two corresponding slots here. So you may have to wiggle a bit to get them to go in, but they will. And you just kind of get those into place there. Put everything back. Put that down there like that. And when you well, see, that didn't go in there right. I didn't say you get it on the first try, but you may have to fight with it for a minute or two. But fighting with this stuff sometimes is part of the fun. And yes, I said that. Sometimes it's fun to fight with this stuff. All right, squeeze it together. Make sure it all stays, and here he is in combined mode, and he is a left, yeah, he's a left, so he's a good sized piece. All in all, from tip to tip, he's more than 12 inches. So yeah. Put this guy into combine mode is actually extremely simple. And following the directions, there's basically 2 steps. You got your hand, and I've already got it prepped. You open this up, and if you notice in here, let me get some light in here. If you notice, there are 2 pegs right here, and 2 pegs right here, and a clip right here. These go onto the front here. And these two clips right here are going to clip on to the top right here, which you can't see. These 2 are going to clip onto these 2. The 2 on the inside are going to clip onto these 2 screw covers right here, and this clip right here is going to clip over his crotch section, his main crotch section right here. Now here's the thing about it. This part is what's going to give you trouble. So the pins will go in without any trouble, but when you get this part on, it's going to stay on. So you need to be sure. The only other thing you need to do is just kind of pull this out, because that's your arm bit. That's all you gotta do. Okay, so there's not really an easier way to do this. It's just kind of, at least not that I've discovered. I start from the top because the top's on a hinge. Me personally, there may be butt-ton ways easier of doing this, but I don't know. And then you just clip that around it. I tell you what, I'm not going to try and do it on camera right now. I don't know how well that's going to come off. Let me just try and show you what I'm dealing with here. If I can get light up in there, if you can see that, and it'll focus, if you could see that lip right there, that's the lip that it's got to go around, and it doesn't want to go around that lip. It will, but it doesn't want to. So I'll fight with that off camera and go from there. Now we're going to go into combine mode. And I urge you to be cautious here because there have been reports of breakage. So, and I'll show you specifically where I'm talking about. Now, these wheels right here, you bring them out, they fold down like this, and you bring them out. And specifically, these little pieces right here have broken on people. And I may have a second generation one because mine are fairly solid, and I don't know if people were rough handling them or they were just flimsy. It could have been both, could have been anything, I don't know. But you want your tires in this configuration prior to trying to put it into combine mode. Bring these 2 flaps down. What you're going to do here is split this like this, okay? And you're going to bring your legs back, and effectively there are hinges right here, if you can see. We're going to, utilizing those hinges, bring them down just a touch. Now we're going to separate this part right here. It's on its own little mechanism here, and bring it down, kind of like that. Okay, these pieces will detach right here. They will, I promise. You can keep it together and come. I know, what am I doing wrong here? What are you doing wrong, Tom? Because you had this earlier. What are you doing wrong, Tom? You're holding your jaw wrong. Yeah, it's supposed to just come straight down. What are you doing wrong? Like that. Okay, that's how it goes. Alright. Remember how I said these hinges go down? They don't go quite that far down. You've got to utilize those hinges to bring them up. These pins right here are going to go into these ports, so you've got to kind of line them up while trying to keep this section as level as you can, as best as you can, while maneuvering this flush. And it sounds more difficult, and I'm making it look more difficult than it actually is. It's just a matter of getting it all sandwiched together, just like that. See, like I said, I made it look more difficult than it actually was, and I think that's just partially because the camera was on. So yeah, I think that's what that was. But that's how you want this thing configured. So we'll set him aside, and this came out of the packaging, if you remember, looking kind of like this. Well, this is not the correct configuration for this. I will show you how this needs to be set up. That is how this guy should look right here. Now, there are two sort of mushroom-like pegs right here that are going to plug into these two receiving ports right there. There are also receiving ports, these two screw holes, right, come on, get some light in there. You can see those screw holes right there. They're going to take these pins right here. This thing's going to come together like this, and these pins are going to come in and sandwich around it just like this. This is how this is going to work. Now, this is going to take some effort and force to get those mushroom pegs in there. So I'm not going to try and do this on camera. I'm going to do this off camera, but that's how you do it, okay? Because quite frankly, I don't want to knock the camera over, and I'm afraid it will. So I'll do that off camera. Okay. So to put this guy into combine mode actually took me some effort. So bear with me here. And it's easier to get him into combine mode from vehicle mode, because he turns into a vehicle and then turns into the top part of Devistator. So what we want to do first is, using that hinge that we saw earlier, we break him in half, right? Pull up these two pins here. Next, we come here. There's a, you know what? More light. You know, there's a spot right here, and this actually slides out. And it took me forever to figure that out. But there's two little connector ports right here that you have to hook onto Devistator. So get this out of the way for right now. You have two pins right here, if you can see them, that are going to plug into two ports right here. So go ahead and, using this double, triple, whatever it is, hinge, rotate it around and plug this together, moving these two connector pins up, and just hook it together here, just like that. Okay, now rotate this around, just like this. Okay, slide this forward until you can hook these together on hook. Ha ha ha, yes, I made it funny. Squeeze this so that it all comes together, and there. Make sure that connector pin goes in, brings this, and bring this down. Okay. Then you bring in your Devistator head, and if you notice, he's got 4 pins and there are 4 ports, and they literally just line up and plug in, just like that. Now, there is the Devistator wing that comes with the with another figure. We'll look at that here later. But here he is in his combine mode. Oh, there's one other thing we have to do. To prepare him for combination, we pull this down. I guess it's more than one thing. We open this up, and we open this up, and I think that's it. I think it is. If it's not, we'll figure it out here in a little bit when we get ready to actually combine him. Okay, that is Allocator, and I think that's it for this particular video. Putting this guy into combined mode is not very difficult. Most of these scraper figures aren't, and he follows, you know, similar patterns. You lift this scoop arm up on a series of hinges, and it just kind of folds in on itself and rests this way. The arms are tabbed in right here. They just come around, and there is here's a pin right here that's going to go into a slot right here on his chest. It just tabs in. So undo, just pull this down, and then just rotate it around, and it'll just tab right in. Like I said, it'll just tab right in right here. Just like that. Okay. Now, come back and push the wheels down. They'll just slide right down. Just like that. It's just a small step, but it is something. Come here to the back, pull these back, and this reveals your connection right there for the big piece that slides in. And that is him in his limb mode. See? Really simple. Not difficult at all, and he'll have ankle articulation and all that. So, yeah, real simple. So to put concrete here into combine mode, let me see if I can do this properly. First thing you do is you come down here and you release these. You just put a little pressure on this depression right here, and it'll just pop right out right here. You open up these two panels right here. Okay? That's what you do. You open up these two panels. Lift these up a little bit. Now, take your hand, take your cab, and just pull it forward. And these legs right here will accommodate you by adjusting. They'll pull out. There's a series of hinges. There's a series of hinges in there, and they will pull out. You just kind of have to sweet talk them, take them to dinner, whatever. And then you can shut those. And see, once you adjust these will sit flush again. Pull them up, just like every hook ever created. And there's a pin and a port right there, which will solidify the leg here. You just got to line them up right and push them in, and they'll sit right there. Then you come back down to here, you fold that under, and you pull these out. You pull those out so that they're flush. You pull these under, and the hardest part of this is just lining this back up so that it secures properly. Fold this under, and then just getting that in there so that it doesn't accidentally fold back in. That's the trick. Now, believe it or not, that's pretty much it. The piece on the parts forming piece will slip in right here between these two pieces, and then this hook right here will hook over a piece, and that will be your... Oh, I missed a step. Hang on just a second. There's another step. See, this is why we pay attention to this stuff. When we have this out, we take these wheels, we pull them down, they're on a slider, rotate them around, slip them in, and that'll make that flush. right there. See how that works? Look at, can you see the difference right there? That makes a world of difference as far as making him level. But because of this little trick right here, it's also one of the reasons why he doesn't roll very well, at least my copy. Now, that is much better, I think. I think that's a lot better. Alright, there he is in combine mode. This is a big guy, and I'm going to try and combine him basically here in 2 stages, the bottom stage and the top stage, and then I'll put both together. And as I'm going through this, I will try and point out if I made any mistakes in the transformation steps. And I did notice one right here on Scrapper. I had initially, because I thought it showed it in the instructions, I had these up like this. They don't go like that, not to fit properly. They have to come down and stay like that. So just make a note of that. Also, I mangled this piece considerably just to be able to get it to fit properly, but it does fit. I can get mine in and out relatively easily. It just slides in. Well, not necessarily relatively easily, but it does actually go, and I can get it off. And there are locking pins here. This pulls out. It is on an extremely tight spring, which I like. I like it that it's on such a tight spring. It means it won't come loose, and that's locked in place, and that's not going anywhere. And that one just slides in. This one here, it's got a slide right here, and then it'll clip in. It'll clip right here, and it'll slide right here. So it slides in, maybe. Come on, Tom, get it in there. Slides in, then that just clips in place, and then you pull these out, which again, very, very tight. Good thing. And then you just rotate these around until they clip into place. And why is that one not clipping into place? The only reason it wouldn't clip into place would be if it wasn't centered properly. Come on now, don't be that way. There's that one, and there's that one. All right, and so with that, we have the lower body. Alright, so now I'm going to show off these two. And I'm going to show combining these two together before I show putting them onto the legs. So when we put them onto the legs, I'll show exactly how to do this, but there was a step in here that I missed, and that was pulling out these pins. So make sure when you're doing this that you find all of these 4 pins, and they can be kind of a pain, but you have to remember to get the 4 pins out, and they will just plug in to these 4 ports. There's one here, 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 and here, and making sure that they all plug in can be a pain, but you got to try and get them in there. So just do your best to try and line them up and try and get them in there, and they'll move on you, and they won't want to go, and you might have to cuss a little bit, and if you're religious, you may want to pray some, and however you do it, whatever you got to do to try and get it so that it goes in. And I guess my stars lined up properly because it appears to have gone in. Now, once you get it to this configuration, there are 2 connector ports back here on long haul that'll go into crane here, and this just helps solidify the back some. It just helps, every little bit helps bring it together and make it more solid. And I'll show putting on the head once we once we connect him together. And I don't know about anybody else's, but mine really just doesn't want to stay clipped together. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but mine really does not like staying clipped together. And that just doesn't want to stay together either. And when I put the head on, I'll put on his wing as well. So yeah, that's just how you connect those 2. And I tell you, oh well, to get it, might as well do this now. Open up these flaps on both sides, because this is where the arms are going to connect, and lift up these pieces, which on mine is kind of easier said than done, but it is doable. Because I have done it. Come on, open up. Don't be that way. Right here is the hinge, and right here is the thing. Well, you gotta come up. Never a paper clip when you need one. There we go. There's one. Let's see. Won't need one. Think for that one. Alright. So here he is, ready to receive the arms. Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect the body here to the top. And the first thing we have to do here, besides getting some light in here where everyone can see, is we have to come in here on long haul and we have to open up these sections right here. And there are pins right here that will clip into certain sections right here, and there is a port here that there's 2 ports that go into these corresponding things that lock all the torso together. So, and my top's coming apart again. Let's see if we can connect, just plug these 2 parts in here. Alright, and then we just bring these down and hopefully they go in without, alright, there's one, too much trouble, and move that around, there's 2. Alright, that actually went in better than I expected. And is he still on camera? He's a little bit off camera at this point. Alright, so, but there he is kind of together. Okay, folks, I know we're vertical right here, and I apologize for the shift in the focus, but this is kind of the only way I can get him all the way in frame. So I ask that you just bear with me here. Alright, so these arms have this groove, which may or may not be coming off in this light right here, and they just slot in. They literally just, you just have to line them up and they will just slot in. You bring your, oh, well, before you do that, I guess it would be beneficial to close that flap that way. Then you just slot that down and you just lock that back down. Close your flap. Yeah, I got the right hand on the right arm. Okay. Again, make sure everything's locked in place. Make sure your slot is facing down. And just push it down and lock it into place. And once again, my clips are coming loose. Here we go. Okay. All right. Now, some of you may be saying, but Tom, it's not standing up straight. Yeah, I know. I'm working on that. There we go. Oh, now he's leaning back. Yeah, I know. I'm working on that too. All right. So the head, I think I pointed this out, has a light up feature. It plugs into 4 little holes here, which I think I noticed or mentioned once, and it literally just plugs in there. The wing has a spot to clip on over and under. It grabs right here. There's a hole right there, and then you literally just pull under here and just kind of wiggle it until it gets in there, and there it goes, just like that. And now that's in place, you extend these wings, and here is Devistator or Constructor combined. And can he hold his weapon? I believe the answer is yes. You just pull out his hand here, move his thumb out of the way, slot it into his palm, maybe. Come on, big guy, hold your weapon. You know you want to. Don't be that way. Hold your gun, man. It's your gun, it's not mine. Well, I guess technically it's mine, but you know what I mean. Yes, he can hold his gun. Although he doesn't act like he's very happy to do so. But yes, he can hold his gun. Okay, so articulation. Head can move, arms, they're ratcheted to do a full 360. The ratchets can, don't bend on me, they're not the strongest, at least not on mine. They can go out a ways, but you break your bot, at least I do when I do that. He's got a waist swivel, the hips, he can do the full Chinese. Well, he's not going to want to do the American, or let's not put him through the paces for the American. He's having trouble with that. I have to say, I've had fun. Yeah, let's say fun. I've had fun trying to get this review completed. Mostly because it's just, this is such a big robot, and the only other, wow, I just broke that head. The only other robot I have like this is the Dinobot combiner, whatever one that is, I can't remember now, but yeah, I've got him. So Shuriken, I've got Shuriken, so yeah, and that's not on there very solidly. Let's see how badly I broke my head. Oh, I didn't really break it. I just battery top came off. Okay. All right. Why don't we end this here before I break something else? $600 transformer. I'd rather not break anything else. Thank you for watching. Now, to answer the burning question on everyone's mind, how does the Toy World Constructor, the scale of 6 spots combining into one, scale with Metroplex? And there was only one thing I could do here. And I think that just sums it up perfectly. I just love that. I just absolutely love that. Whoops. Retgar sitting there going, I'm getting the hell out of here. Nemesis is going, I'm right behind you, brother. I mean, just, oh my gosh, I love that. Thanks for watching. Spinster! A real quick update. Here's Constructor, and as you can see, he has the IDW head that came with him, and I have purchased the upgrade kit head, which comes in just this plain box, and this is the updated head, and it lights up. It's got the visor. It comes with this piece here, which I haven't really found a place for, and it comes with this replacement head, which is, or this replacement face mask where he's screaming, and it's just a swap out. You just literally pull this one off, which I can't do at the moment, but you pull that one off and you just drop that one on top of it, and it looks like that. So yeah, okay. I don't like my Devastator screaming, so but it pops on here just exactly the same as the other one. You just put it on there and it looks more G1 accurate, and I really like that. I like that a whole lot better, which is the reason why I bought it. And just for kicks and giggles, nothing in the bottom of the box. Now, I think this is supposed to go right there, I think, but it is like way loose. So, I mean, I can always tighten that up, but I'll probably never, ever, ever, ever use that. So, yeah. I'm just going to put that head in here for now. So just kind of leave it, tuck it away. Good for you. Good for you. Alright, we'll leave that one there. And that's it for this update. Okay, folks, so another Devastator upgrade. This one comes from Toy World Japan, and it is a mixing barrel. And it literally is just a mixing barrel. And it goes onto the foot of Constructor. And I have to tell you, I like how that looks. I really do, especially with the Devastator head. I've always been a purple mixing barrel man, and I just like how that looks.
Thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.
Vitamin John. Operators are standing by.